It's Hot Topics. It's
Yay!
Friday.
Friday! Yay!
Ramen.
So it's Friday. I'm very excited.
You're excited? You're excited
Yeah.
it's Friday, or you're excited that
I'm
you're
excited it's Friday. Fridays that, it doesn't even matter if you have plans. It just means Friday for some reason makes you feel like, okay, today's a good day.
Yeah, I remember
It's the end
talking
of something.
Well, even like people who are on vacation, like they've been on vacation all week, and it's like, yay, it's Friday. I'm like, it's no different than yesterday, but somehow it's Friday.
Yeah, Friday's cool. Friday's cool. Yeah. So what's been happening with you?
Yeah, a lot and nothing. I feel like since the whole pandemic and everything started, the whole "how are you? What's new?" all that kind of stuff ends up getting a complicated answer. Before it was "how are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. How are things? Great."
Notice I didn't say how are you. I said what's been happening.
I know, right? Then all of a sudden I'm like, well, things, but nothing really.
Right. True.
But I do have a very cool story for you this morning. Very interesting story.
Cool
so I know you've seen it. I have a sleep headband.
Yes.
So, and it's my favorite thing literally on the planet. So for those of you who don't know what a sleep
wine's your favorite thing. That's your second favorite.
Well, this might hold that thought.
Okay.
So basically it's a headband that literally, and it has very flat speakers by the ears so you can sleep. So I put on a meditation. I have 2 or 3 tracks that I kind of listen to because of my sleep cycles. It just helps me sleep and it makes me very happy and brings me joy. And I love it. I loved it. It was my favorite thing on the planet, literally. And I broke it. I was taking it. So sad. So I was taking it apart. I broke one of the wires. So, okay. No problem. I love it.
Every night? You use it every night?
Every night.
Okay.
So I ordered on Amazon. I go back to Amazon, click reorder, no problem. It arrives like 2 days later. I'm happy. Again, love the product. And originally when I bought it, I look at reviews. So I know you and I have had this conversation a few times that you want to look at reviews. In today's world of communication, in today's world of like people having a voice, whether they like it or not, they will put it out there. So always go to social media, Amazon reviews. I put a lot of weight into those because if people don't like it, they're going to leap on. But if they love it, they're also going to leap on. So this one had, like, honestly, I could barely find a bad review.
Right.
Like, it was awesome. This was a year ago.
And the bad review is the guy that couldn't figure out how to turn it on or something.
Yeah, exactly. So the only difference I saw was like the wording was a little smaller at the top. Like, who cares? Like, to me, it was the perfect item. So I start to unpackage it and everything. And I just look at it and I'm like, yep, same, looks the same. I'm happy. So I go upstairs to plug it in to charge it for that night because I got it in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, my whole world changed. I know that you're going to just bear with me for a second. So the way it was on buttons here, so it doesn't interrupt if you're sleeping. The earbuds are the headphones are here, and then they had a wire that stuck out the back that you could plug in because you must
be really attractive at night. Anyways, continue.
Yeah,
sorry.
This is why no one sees me at night.
No.
But what they did is they switched the wiring. So again, you have to understand, nobody complained about this wire. This was an amazing product. Nobody. I couldn't find anywhere. But what they did is they moved it up here so that you plugged it in right here. So there's no wire from the earphones back. So when you're laying on your back or anything, you don't have to worry about this wire at all. You don't have to move it. It was life-changing.
Wow.
And I know, but bear with me.
Okay.
So then I started to realize that if you have a really good product
Right.
and people love it, why would you change it? And
Right.
then I realized because they changed it in a way that
Make it
nobody could even imagine. Like, I didn't think that that was an option. I didn't not
Right.
love the product. I loved the product, but they made it better.
Right.
Even though people loved what they created. So in theory, they could have been very complacent and said, everyone loves our product, keep making it the way it is, sell it the way it is, everybody will continue to be happy, the world will then go forward. However, they didn't do that. They took really great comments, all of that, but they still invested in the product. And I guess that's what I really loved, is the fact that they made a very, very small change.
Right.
Very small change that made it an even better product.
Yeah.
So at what point, so then I started thinking, right? So when you're developing products, whether you're developing services, you're developing digital products, whatever that case may be, when do you stop? Do you continue to build on your product and make it even better, even though everyone loved it? Or do you make new ones? It's an interesting, I was just floored and fascinated by the fact that they had invested so much time to change one little thing that made the product even better.
I have a one-word answer for you.
Oh.
Blackberry. Right? So who did not have a Blackberry? Like everyone on the earth who, had a Blackberry. The thing about Blackberry, don't quote me on this, you could text when you drove back in the days because you could feel the keys. Okay, I only did it like once, but I'm just saying.
I could text so fast on a Blackberry.
Right.
I was like.
Everyone had it. And I remember got a red one. I used to call it the raspberry, right? I used to, I bought all my kids the Blackberries. They were like the best. The messaging, everything there. If you could have told me I would have ever owned anything but a Blackberry, I would have said you're crazy. But this is what happened. They stopped being inventive because they thought they had the market cornered. And along comes iPhone, right? And iPhone, and the reason why, for Stacy and I, Apple is the mothership, is that Apple never stops. They are continually looking for the next best, greatest thing that they can add. When Steve
Colin's just saying crackberry, that's what we used to call it, because you could never put it down.
When Steve Jobs developed the iPod, everyone thought that was the best thing in the whole world. Well, the iPod now is, like nobody even, it's part of your phone. You now have podcasts. Every time we turn around and Apple introduces something else, the first thing Stacy and I always go to, what's new on the update, right? We always check because it's so cool. But there's a massive lesson. Now, Blackberry's come back a bit, not in the retail phone world, but in, the third party or back office stuff that they're still very good at. But they literally owned the world. They owned the world. And because whoever was in charge, and then I don't know who the CEO was, did not have a vision. I believe the senior leadership team did not understand that you don't just go, oh, everything's, we're going to sell these forever because nobody needs anything because this is the best thing. And that's what happened. And I remember the day that I switched to iPhone because the iPhone looked so cool. There were so many things that the Blackberry didn't do. And then I remember switching and it was like, angels singing and a halo and everything, right? Because I was like, how the heck did anyone think of this? Right. And then I was like, I was obnoxious because I made everybody switch because I was just like, you have to do this. And I made all my kids go to iPhone, like, kicking and screaming. But I mean, that's the thing. You need to continually look. I was selling a mastermind, and a lot of the program is still valid. It's been like a long time, 10 years. And a lot of the program is still the same because core concepts are the same. But we had to add to that. We had to move things forward because life keeps going on. So we had to add in, training on podcasts and training on video and things that really weren't important 10 years ago. So you must continually move forward in order to stay relevant in the world.
Yeah, and Colin saying exactly the same thing. You have to change or you're going backwards as the world moves forward, literally while you sleep. And
Exactly.
And I guess from technology perspective, absolutely. But I was thinking about this individual product because it was pretty new a year ago. They were sort of just coming out. So I felt like but they obviously had that same mentality, which is a ridiculously smart way to go.
Yep.
Because here I am, like ridiculously excited about the product again.
Yeah.
Right. I was ridiculously excited a year ago. It was, it was amazing and I loved it. But again, you're right. I became complacent with yeah, this is just a great product. Like I wasn't wowed by it. It was a great product. Now, again, if it had lasted me another few years, I probably wouldn't have been having this conversation. I would have been talking about how reliable it was and blah, blah, blah. But it was because it was my fault.
I'll give you. Let's give everyone a real life example that happened today, and it's us. So we've been doing Hot Topics for how long now, Stacy? Couple months, anyways. More than a couple months.
I would say probably since the spring, so around Marchish.
Okay, so we've been doing Hot Topics, and we've been streaming to our community, and because this is free, obviously, we're streaming to our community. We're streaming to LinkedIn Live. And we just forgot to stream to our Facebook group.
We just decided yesterday that we should stream to our Facebook group again.
Yeah. So, so what we did was we were like, hang on here. We need to get, like, people were asking us, well, we used to watch you on Facebook and, you guys aren't on there anymore. And it wasn't a conscious thing. We just thought, we first only started community. We started streaming in live in LinkedIn Live because we got LinkedIn Live, right? So we decided to make Hot Topics better. And the way we could make it better was to get out there and stream to more avenues. So we are now streaming to Facebook as well. And we will do that every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, so same with us. We don't have a physical product, right? We don't have a physical product. We are doing online streaming, but it's equally as important to continue to go in that realm. So as you are watching this conversation, I would ask you, what product do you have, or what service do you have that you have not improved on, that you've sold or serviced for a couple of years and you really haven't gone back and said, well, what can I do differently given the state of the world, right?
Exactly. And that was something that I always like to look at. What do I have out there? Because sometimes you forget if it's a service or a product, maybe that you just kind of did a one-off, but it's still kind of floating out there in the world. I remember, somebody kind of booking something and I'm like, how'd they find that?
Yeah.
Because that was something I did like 6 months ago. So again, looking at all your stuff, but you're right, looking at your services, looking at your digital products or physical products, how could you make them better? And like I said, what I loved was the fact that I can't find a bad comment about this. So they just obviously, again, internal teams, whatever, how can we make this better? How can we make this better? So huge respect for the company. And you're absolutely
that's leadership. That's a good leader who's in charge, or a leadership team, because that's where it comes from. So anytime that you're not happy with a company, you need, literally the responsibility goes on the leader of that company. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe they're not in the trenches and they're in customer service, but they're responsible, right? They're the ones who are getting the big bucks. They're responsible for the all running of the company. So when you're not happy, or you think a company doesn't have vision and they're not improving their products and services, it really comes from the leader and the leadership team. So keep that in mind when you look at yours too, because if somebody's not happy in your company, a customer with your experience, whose fault is that? That would be you.
And people have voices now, again, like huge voices to be able to say, I either like this or I don't like it. They have the ability to go to social media and post and saying, I have a problem with this, or I'm not getting good service, or I don't like this particular product. So you really do have to listen to what's going on in the world, not just say my product's good. I mean, I can talk about, what were we talking about yesterday? We have our AI scorecard, authority and influence scorecard, that we did for a very long time in one particular platform, which we love.
Very long time in internet world is like we did it for 9 months. So anyway, not years.
It wasn't years, but
No.
you're right. But technology changes and opportunities change. So we
Yeah.
found a new platform. Again, it was great. What we were using was fantastic.
Yeah,
No
fantastic.
complaints.
And it was actually more money.
Right,
We
which was
found
the
a
interesting.
better solution, less cost. And we were so happy with what the new solution is, right? So happy. So if you haven't done it, you should go do the mastermind.city /
AI score.
AI score. See, she knows.
Yeah. So I was looking at yesterday.
Yeah,
But I was really
very
excited about it. So, finishing it up and everything and realizing that, yes, we can actually deliver a better solution. So again, take out the cost factor, positive comments, love the scorecard. People, again, responded really well to it. But again, and we've talked about this before, we're always looking for something new, which is why, we love AppSumo. So what are those new products that come out? What are some things that we can implement that make it even better? So we found this one and we're like, hey, we could do this and it would look even better.
Yeah.
So
just so you guys understand, we love the look of it. It's fantastic, and as we said, it's less cost. We got the partner from AppSumo, and just so understand, when people look at AppSumo, there's like lifetime deals, right? And so what you're doing is you're supporting brand new developers who have come out with a product, who are giving you a ridiculously cheap deal so that they can build a little bit of a group, right? So you can start using it and they can get out the kinks and then offer it out. So, what we might pay $100 for in a couple of months from now is going to be $199 a month and we've paid $100 forever. So it is a really, really great tool. And what I think what people are missing, and we're not even giving you an affiliate link here, but what people are missing for places like AppSumo and PitchGround and Grab LTD, all of those, Mac Heist, there's a whole bunch of them, is that people think, oh, it's like $89, it must be crappy. No, those guys are cutting edge. The guys that are developing new are the ones that are looking at existing product bases and going, how can I make it better? Because that company is sitting back and enjoying what they're doing, but I'm going to make it better. And that's kind of what we said when we saw, we used a great company. The scorecard was great. We loved everything they did. But it wasn't exactly what we wanted. And then we found somebody who was just starting out, right? And it was more in keeping with what we wanted to do. Yeah. And it was really inexpensive. So you're saving yourself money, you're on the cutting edge, and you're also supporting a small company that's just starting out. And that's why they're giving you these great deals. So don't think it's because it's inexpensive that it's an inferior product. It isn't, because in a couple of months from now, it's going to be really expensive.
Exactly. Once and the thing is, there's also growing pains with new, right? Sometimes there's some glitches. Sometimes they ask for feedback.
Yeah.
Maybe things aren't just perfect, and
you wait.
Good with that.
Like we're waiting. We're on Groove still. We've been waiting a year and a half now, right, for some of the stuff. But it's such a robust platform that we're willing to wait, because we got in very inexpensively. And so
you buy into the future. You buy for the future product, not the current product.
And everything we buy, that's what we buy into. So, so it's great. It's the way to go. And I think what's interesting, Stacy, is, we started this conversation, you talked about sleep. So I couldn't sleep, so I just watched Pitch Perfect. It was a big song in Pitch Perfect. Anyone know?
I don't know.
It's from The Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's interesting, because for me, we're talking about, continually improving. And what's interesting is we're doing a Feng Shui workshop tonight. And I've been teaching Feng Shui for over 25 years. That's where I started my newsletters. When back in the day when nobody really had newsletters, and barely, there was like no carts there was nothing. So anyways, and I had a pretty big following, and I published articles around the world. And what happened was, I've been always teaching along the way. I haven't hidden it or anything. But what I realized in the last couple of weeks was that I needed to add a component that I had done, with my clients, but now it's different. So I want to talk specifically about the feng shui of your website, of your business, because those things weren't really there. Right? They didn't exist when I first started. And people take it for granted. And so, feng shui is really, it's just about energy, and it's about movement of energy. And because I've been doing it for a long, long time, whenever I see clutter, right? Whenever energy is stagnant, I have a I can't breathe type of feeling. And you've seen it because it happens to me all the time. And so it's interesting because when I see somebody's website that's cluttered or they're not clear on their message, I get that same feeling, because I'm like, but the energy's not there and it's stagnant. Right. And you can't, nobody can understand what you're saying. And that's really about energy. And so yesterday, I'm up north, as you guys see, and I have a lot to do to prepare for some movement we're doing in July 1st. And what I realized was I couldn't work yesterday. I couldn't do anything because it was weighing on me that this energy was not able to flow because I hadn't looked after all these things that I needed to look after. So, so I spent the entire day moving things, cleaning it up, doing all the stuff that I don't really like to do because it's very physically demanding, but getting older. But I did it all, and it took me from first thing in the morning, and I finished about 8 o'clock last night. And it was a lot of, carrying up and down stairs and doing stuff. But I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I can work today. I feel good. I've looked after it. I don't have to worry about it. It's out of my hair now. And now I can go ahead and move forward because I moved that energy. Right. And so that's part of moving your service and moving your business forward and changing your product up. They changed your headset up, and the complete energy that you showed around it was insane, right? Because all of a sudden you're like, it's like us when we get a new iPhone. We're like doing a happy dance, right?
When I showed this, I ran to all my family members, like, look what they did. Look.
Yeah, see? So that's the same thing. You have to constantly be going, what is stagnant? And that's the same whether it's a product and whether you need a service and whether you need to increase it, or whether the energy around you is stagnant or your website's stagnant. Something is like holding you down. Sometimes when you get that heavy feeling in your chest, it's because you don't feel like things are moving around you. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And it was perfect with what you started with, Stacy, which it always ends up in hot topics. We never know what we're going to talk about. Well, I never know what I'm going to talk about. Stacy always leads me, which fits perfectly with something that's just happened to me. So I'm really excited about tonight. I think it will. Little changes can significantly make an impact in what you do. And maybe, if you guys join us, I want to jump on the Introduction to Feng Shui workshop. We're going to pull some hot seats if people volunteer, and we'll take a look at your website and your business and say what's wrong with it in terms of the energy and where you need to change and what you need to flow. So if that's you and you need to do it, you can join Mastermind City. If you're not part of our community, there is you can join premium for free for 14-day trial, or you can just join for free and just jump on the workshop alone. So lots of opportunities, but don't miss it. It's a great conversation. We start at 7. We'll go as long as anyone wants to volunteer for hot seats. After midnight, maybe not.
No, probably not that late, but yeah.
It's Eastern Standard Time, by the way, guys. Sorry, we always forget to say that, but it is. So it's really exciting when you improve your stuff, when you do something new. It's really exciting. It puts you on a different feeling. It makes you want to go out there and do more. So if you're stuck and you're stagnant and you don't know why you can't move, then join us tonight.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.